Everybody, it is Andrea here, and this week's read is done vlog style like I've been doing for the last week or so. This one went a little bit longer as I wanted to get some books done before I went into my Shelf Love Crate Readathon on Monday. I think there is 6 books in this, 7 books, something like that, so I hope you enjoy it. As always, link down below, you will find all of the links to all of the books, which will contain the title, the author, the NLS catalog number, and the Goodreads link. You will also find the link to my blog that will contain all of the books that I've read in 2019. You will also find the link to my full blog, which will contain all of my readathons, all of my challenges, and all of my blog posts that I've done. You'll also find the link to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Goodreads account. So as always, keep on reading. Hey everybody, it is Saturday morning, and early this morning I ended up finishing my next book, which was Intercepted by Marissa Martin, or Alyssa Martin. This is the first book in the playbook series. So this one was, I think, recommended to me by Chelsea, I think. I can't recall exactly, but I think it was her. This is a fun romance, and I've just kind of been in the mood for some fun, easy romances, and kind of going off of what's already on my to read list, already downloaded onto my phone and not searching for any more. So this book follows Marley, who she is in the beginning, she is the girlfriend of one of the football players on the Denver Mustangs, and starts off with her, and she is dating Chris. I can't remember what position he plays. And then she ends up discovering that he cheated on her and is currently cheating on her. So then she ends up getting with Gavin, who is the quarterback, a brand new quarterback, but she's known him from a previous engagement. And they end up falling in love. So this book was really good. I wasn't sure if I was exactly gonna like it. I'm not a football player at all, or a football, I don't like watching football at all. And so I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. A couple things that I really did enjoy about this book is, for one, Marley is half black, half white, which it's not out of the norm, and it just seems like most romance novels, the woman tends to be white, or at least what I have the impression is white, and I'm not against colored people in any way, so I want to add that in here. It just seems like most of them are white, and the men seems to be the one who are black or Italian or Hispanic, or a mixture of all of them. So to have a female hero character that was colored, that was to me awesome. I thought it was really good. And then, so there was some drama in regards to her heritage, which I think happens, and it was felt very real. And then Gavin, I believe, is white, and so there was some drama in regards to them two getting together, which I felt was really awesome. I mean, not awesome, but very realistic, I should say. And I felt it was great, and just the drama of their families a little bit, and then the drama of all of the wives of the football players in the team. I think that's probably pretty typical, and you kind of have those people. So I thought this book was great. I'm definitely interested in reading the next book, although I don't think I could get the next book quite yet. I'm not sure when it came out, but I think it came out recently. But this was a good series to start off with. Good, easy read, and definitely enjoyed it, and I was glued. So, yeah, at this rate, I'm going to be reading a lot this weekend and into the week, but we'll see what happens. So I'll see you in just a couple days. So hey everybody, it is a Saturday evening. It's a little late. I think it's about close to 11 o'clock. I just finished my next book. So I just finished Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was a book that I heard booktuber Chelsea talking about a lot. She really does like this author, so I decided to read this one next, and it's been on my phone for a while, so I thought I'd read it. So I don't normally read what the book is about or anything like that, which unfortunately in this case really made it hard because I kind of went into this not knowing anything about the writing style of this book or anything like that. And so, um, about, I don't know, because a quarter of the way through with it, I was just like, what the heck is going on? And so then I had to read the description of the book, and then that helped. Um, so basically, the book is about Hannah, who, the beginning of it is just kind of, she's had like a hard kind of thing going on, and she broke up with her boyfriend because she found out he was married, and then she moves back to her hometown in Los Angeles, and it introduces her friend Gabby and her husband, and then they end up going to a bar, and she ends up getting with some friends of hers from high school, which also included like her first love. And then from there, Gabby wants to go home. And so then it kind of goes into like a parallel world, I guess, if you want to call it. Like Hannah had two different situations that she could have taken, either stayed or gone. And so like then it turns into this parallel storytelling. One, if Hannah would have stayed with her first love, and what would have happened, and then if she would have gone and would have happened, which are kind of like two totally separate lives basically. But a lot of things were the same as they went, or they kind of played on like existing storylines, I guess. So, the first thing I'm going to say is I did this in audio, of course, and I think a couple things that could have really made it hard for me in audio is first thing was in the audio version that I had, I could hear the page turning. It was really distracting in a couple parts, and they shuffled the paper a couple times, which was just really loud. So that was first problem number one. I don't think I've ever heard a page shuffling in a book, but then the second part of it was, and it may have been different in the writing, the written copy of it, there were times where it felt like when it was jumping back and forth between storylines that I had to really like think about what story I was in, which kind of made it distracting and you kind of missed a little bit of it. Um, so that kind of made it hard. So maybe in the written copy there was like lines or like a little filigree or something like that. But they just didn't pause very much. And it could have also been that I read it, at double the speed, which is my normal speed. And maybe there was a bigger pause and that would have helped. But anyway, just kind of things like that. The double storyline, it was okay. I guess I was expecting a little bit more romancy kind of a thing going on. Couple other things that did kind of bother me was the ending. I guess I had kind of hoped, and I'm sorry if there's a spoiler here. I just kind of had hoped it was different. Um, and I don't know. Like I said, this was my first book by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm gonna try one more. They are kind of a romancy, sort of. Way tamer romance than what I'm used to, but not bad. Um, Not my favorite, and although I did like a lot of the male characters, I thought some of the characters were just really bad, and Hannah, I don't know, kind of mixed feelings about Hannah. You got two totally different sides of her in this book, and so that kind of really made it like weird. So anyway, I'm off to my next book. I'm not sure what book I'm going to end up reading next. Um these last couple have been really shorter books, like 8 to 9 hours, which is always fun to just kind of get away from longer books. But I'll see what's on my phone, and I'll see you probably in a couple days then. Hey everybody, it is a Monday evening, and a little bit ago I finished The Story of a New Name, which is the second book that follows My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Um, this one is just kind of a continuation story about the two girls that are in My Brilliant Friend, who are friends, and they're growing up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s in Naples, Italy. Um, It was, just like I said, it was a continuation of the story. You're just kind of finding more about them. My brilliant friend is kind of them in their like early teens ish area. This one goes kind of late teens into their 20s and kind of developing themselves as whatever they're gonna be. They kind of leave two separate lives now, where they were really joined at the hip in the beginning. They're now like two totally separate lives and two totally separate educations and lifestyles. So, it was just like I said, it was a continuation of the story. Just these are just kind of general fiction stories. These are translated from Italian. Um, but they're really well written. It's just, not my normal read, so it's a little bit harder to get into these books than normal. Um, but if you like, just kind of like general fiction, just kind of like I said, it's just the stories of them. So if you kind of like that book, you might like these books. I'm definitely going to go on to the third one, which I think is the end of the series. Might not be the end of the series, but I think it is. Um, I'm not going to go on to it just yet. I'm going to just kind of take a breather. And kind of go into some just easy romance reads, I think, before I get into my readathon in a little less than a week. So, hopefully, I'll see you in just a couple days. Hey, everybody, it is Wednesday morning, and I just finished my next book. It was a really awesome read. So, I just finished hashtag Moonstruck, which is in the series hashtag Lovestruck by Sierra Wilson, I believe is how you pronounce her name. So this one follows, this one is the second in the series, and this one is after hashtag Starstruck, which I did read in the Magic Readathon. I'm not sure if that one got screwed up or not, but um, these books are really a tamer romance. There's a ton of romance in them, just not like intimate scenes or anything like that. So these so far have been really good reads, and this one was just, it was great. I loved it. It was another one where I was really glued into the book, just like I did with hashtag Starstruck. These both can definitely be standalone books. They don't really intermingle hardly at all, just maybe just a little bit of seeing the first characters in this one. So, this one follows Maisie, who she is so she's in a band with her brothers, and they end up going on tour with Ryan, who is the head of another band, and she ends up falling in love with him. Um, because of the way these are done, they're very reserved. So, in both cases, the books, the female character has not wanted to have an intimate relationship prior to marriage with either one of these characters. And the nice thing is there's just tons of romance, just tons of simple romance, tons of very realistic romance. And I did end up looking into this author a little bit, and this all comes from her religious background, which is not a bad thing. And sometimes just these simple romances are great. And although it is kind of like courting a little bit, um, it's not that reserved, and they still kiss and they still have feelings, and I think that's just very true with any romance, even if you want to be not intimate until after you get married. There is still a ton of romance that goes on in relationships, and there is still feelings, and these put it very realistic. So these are just awesome books. I know so far there is one more book in this series. I'm not sure if I'm able to get it or not, but I'm definitely going to go on to the next book. Um, the one thing I did like about this book compared to the last book was a lot of like tweets with the hashtag Starstruck and all of that. This had none of that, which was just, I think it was great. I'm not a hashtag person, so hearing all the hashtags all the time was just, it was, a little distracting, but this one had none of that, and it's just kind of about the rock bands and, everything like that. Some of the paparazzi and the tabloids, and that's all just realistic. So I loved it, and would definitely give it, two thumbs up, 5 stars probably. Was glued and was just an easy read. So I think I'm gonna end up going on to a really short book, so you'll probably see me in just a couple hours, in fact, until I get the next book done. So I'll see you soon. So hey everybody, it is early Wednesday afternoon. I finally had a chance to sit down and actually get through my next book. It was a real quick read. This one I actually chose for the monthly motif challenge as well, which was to read a like a one-sitter book. So it needed to be a really short, like novella-y type book. So for this, I did choose The Little Prince. This has been on my to-read list for quite a while, actually. I heard about it for the first time when I was reading one of my favorite series of books, and in it, the girl was reading it, and it kind of, I guess, intrigued me a little bit. I didn't know a whole ton about this book prior to going into it. It is, I think, on like the 100 books you should read. I think it's just kind of a classic. It kind of, so it's short, mind you, on that one. It's just kind of about this little prince of a planet other than Earth, and he's come to try to find, I guess, answers, and he's like traveling around. And it starts off with him finding this pilot who has crashed, and he's looking for some answers. It was really, I don't know, it's not my typical read. It was a really fast read. It just was okay. I don't know. I don't think I'd recommend it to anybody. Probably like a 2-star. It wasn't terrible. It just was not my thing. But yeah, so this one's done, and I'm not sure what I'm going to next. So we'll see you in just a couple days, and yeah. So hey everybody, it is a Thursday afternoon, I guess, and I just finished actually my 6th book for the week, which just feels insane. So I just finished The Kiss Quotient. So this book was talked about by some booktubers. I know Chelsea did it, and I think Gabby Reeds did it as well. So I decided to do it. I'm kind of just checking off some books that have been on my to-read list for a while. And this was one of those before I go into my Shelf Love Crate Readathon on Sunday or Monday, I think. This book is awesome. This was just another one that just sucked me in and just was an awesome romance. One thing I loved about this book, and not all disabled people are like this, but for me, I think it's really important. This book had a female character, Stella, who is autistic, and Michael, her love interest of the book, falls in love with her and is really able to understand her and just kind of show, I guess, her light, which a lot of people I don't think see sometimes with different disabilities. And I think it's great because it really does show that all men and women, in fact, come in different shapes, sizes, with different ailments and different disabilities, and we all can find love. So for me, I love these. This is my personal opinion, not an opinion of anybody else in the disabled community, but I just love this. So I think I'm gonna end up doing one more book before I go on to my Shelf Love Crate Readathon, but we will find out. So I'll see you when I see ya. So hey everybody, it is Saturday early evening, and I just finished my next book, which I think will be the last book for the week before I start my Shelf Love Crate Readathon on Monday. I just finished 99% Mine, which is by Sally Thorne. She wrote The Hating Game, which I really did enjoy. I don't think I enjoyed this one as much as I did The Hating Game. This one follows Darcy, who is in love with her crush from when she was younger, and his name is Tom, and he is a flipper of houses, and he's helping her and her brother redo, I think it's their grandmother's home, and to get it on the market, and he ends up having feelings for her from when they were young as well. This was a bit slow, I would say, and although it was a romance novel, there wasn't simple romance going on a whole lot. I mean, I think throughout the whole book, they went on like one date and maybe two throughout the whole thing. And then there was just a lot of tension in the book, like romantic tension, I guess, which was in The Hating Game. But this one felt like, I don't know, I kind of felt like I didn't really know the characters like a whole ton and really got to see their relationship grow, which I think sometimes is a big thing in a romance novel. You just kind of want to see their relationship grow, and they had these feelings from when they were younger, like in their teens, and then it just was a ton of tension as you got into the book. Both of the characters, I think, just kind of just weren't my thing. I don't think I really liked either one of them. In fact, um, it was, I wouldn't say a terrible read, but it definitely wasn't a top read. There were some good parts and some bad parts, so probably right in the middle. So, like I said, this is probably my last video and my last book for the weekend. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I'm gonna just kind of enjoy my day and get ready for my readathon on Monday. Not doing a whole lot for Mother's Day, but I'm just gonna take it easy. And if I get into a book, I get into a book. If I don't, I don't. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I will see you with my Shelf Love Crate readathons next video.
If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you ring that bell for notifications.